Do you ever find yourself asking what the f going on in Oklahoma? Because I'm there. I'm there. I'm there with you. Why are we still discussing equal access to healthcare in Oklahoma, let alone the entire country in the 21st century? This year, Oklahoma lawmakers have made several attempts to restrict or ban vital healthcare access, because that is what abortion is, healthcare access. I'm here to discuss it, and I just want to lay some things out for you, so let's dive into it. Over the weekend, hundreds of people gathered at the Oklahoma State Capitol to listen to speakers discuss the importance of reproductive freedom. The overwhelming tone of the speakers in the crowd encouraged people to get involved in the community. The reality is, these unconstitutional attacks on fundamental rights violate the protections granted to citizens by the Constitution. And this is where it becomes more outrageous. In April, Stitt signed Senate Bill 612, which legally bans healthcare providers from performing abortions. The consequences for violating the ban is a felony punishable by 10 years in prison or a fine of up to $100,000.
We believe every life is precious. As a father of 6, those are my core beliefs. And I'm elected by all 4 million Oklahomans to represent them and to put our beliefs into law.
This year, Oklahoma lawmakers have made several attempts to restrict or ban vital healthcare access, because that is what abortion is, healthcare access. That's what we've been debating about, is whether a person has the right over their own body and to make their own decisions when it comes to their health, mentally and physically. And the sad thing is that lawmakers believe that the odds are in their favor, even if their legislation is backed by Governor Stitt, who vowed to sign every pro-life piece of legislation that comes across his desk. Stitt has openly expressed to the public that he's simply defending our way of life and freedom. Defending our way of life and freedom. But is failing to provide sufficient evidence revealing the millions of Oklahomans who are in favor of banning and criminalizing abortion. Yeah, no evidence. Zero.
See, now that's some bullshit.
On Sunday, he appeared on Fox News to discuss the abortion ban.
A journalistic group has looked into what they say some fact checks on what you're saying about how people in Oklahoma feel about abortion. They cite a Pew Research study. They say the most recent numbers they have are from 2014, found that 51% of Oklahoman respondents believed abortion should be legal in all or most cases. So within the last few years, they say your state was pretty evenly split, actually, on this issue.
And I'm sorry to say it, actually I'm not, but Stitt gave a very sorry answer.
Well, some of those some of those different facts or those newspapers that you're quoting are not what we find with the people in Oklahoma. So I totally disagree with those numbers.
So I totally disagree with those numbers. What? Dude.
Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Senate Bill 612 is set to go into law sometime this summer. Legal experts are saying that the measure could be blocked.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Simply because Roe v. Wade is still the law of the land. Despite that very important factor and the fact that Senate Bill 612 is essentially banning abortion entirely, legislators are still actively working to pass more anti-abortion legislation. Why? I have no clue.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Why are we still discussing equal access to healthcare in Oklahoma, let alone the entire country in the 21st century? The topic is not so much about defending life, because the reality is this country has little compassion for the living. This country has a dark and neglectful history when it comes to making decisions about an individual's body in the name of the law. These unqualified people with step stools learn that if they bark in the sanctity of life long enough, then maybe, just maybe, people would not notice their desperation for power. Power over the people. The very thing the rights granted to us by the Constitution are supposed to protect us from. They play politics when it's popular. Actions are like dominoes. One leads to something bigger, more dangerous. And then history repeats itself and the cycle continues. The responsibility also falls on the people to acknowledge that the fight for equal rights does not belong to any group or any single person. Governor Stitt and many of our state lawmakers are seeing how far over the line they can go, and whether people will use what they fear most, our vote and our voice.
Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out!